Let's talk some football, man. All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the football side of things.
A lot of stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, look at the whirlwind that my team has gone through. I mean, first we restructured Derek Carr's contract,
Yep.
right? Which was stupid in itself. Then we've learned that you did it without consulting him,
Yep.
right? Just because you could, you restructured his contract, gave him more money, required him to stay longer, not consulting him, not knowing that he wanted to leave,
Yep.
right? He didn't want to play for the Saints anymore, especially
Mhm.
after they went in the draft drafting a quarterback,
Yep.
right? Then he tells him, you know what? I'm thinking about having shoulder surgery, so I'm gonna be out for the season. So now you're paying him 30 million a year, and or maybe more, and you're 30 million in a cap hell, and he's not gonna be able to play. All of that happened, and then now we hear he's retiring. What a mess! I,
Yeah. It's well, first of all, you had all the quarterbacks, you had all the young quarterbacks. Then it's like, okay, so what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We guess we're just gonna go with Derek, let him play. And then he retires. And now
retires.
it's just a free for all at quarterback. Who? Who's gonna be who gonna be the man now? You got two. You got the young rookie you just got, who's not getting great reviews coming in, right? And then you got the other two who played last year, not
They
getting
were
great
terrible.
reviews. You know what I'm
They were
saying?
terrible last year, dude.
So
We
it's
won 5 games last year,
yeah.
and all five were won by Derek Carr.
Hmm.
And I think if Derek Carr played the entire season, we would have won 8, 9 games
Right.
because he's just much better of a quarterback than the rest of them. I've never said that Derek Carr was not a good quarterback. He's a
Hmm.
good quarterback. He can in the NFL, he can get you 8, 9 wins in a season. He's not great. He's not elite. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Hell, he's probably not even Baker Mayfield.
Right.
But he's decent enough to get you 8, 9 wins in a season.
Well, this can't be, you might have to slide on saying not even a Baker Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? Mayfield had a blistering season last year.
That's what I'm saying.
You
No,
know what I'm
I'm
saying?
saying
Yeah.
Carr.
Yeah,
I'm saying Carr's not
4,500.
on.
Yeah.
I'm saying he's not on Baker Mayfield's level. I'm
Oh,
saying he's
right,
a
right,
step
right.
below Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Definitely step below for sure.
Yeah, yeah. There's a gap between Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And I think Derek Carr is under Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Yeah,
He ain't never
easy.
put up the numbers that Baker Mayfield just put up.
No,
Never
no.
even came close.
Yeah. So yeah, but that is still good enough to get you 8, 9 wins in the season.
Right.
Like like you look at Spencer Rattler, Jake Hayner, those guys are bottom of the barrel.
Right.
Spencer Rattler lost 6 games, 6 straight games for his last season.
Hmm.
It's horrible. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. And Rattler kind of been all over the league.
No,
Uh,
no.
well, I'm talking about as far as in college. He been to
Oh,
different
in college, yeah.
yeah, in college, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I kind of thought he might be getting over the hump
You
some.
thought so?
Yeah, because it seemed like when he was in South Carolina, he was playing better. He just
Well,
didn't,
yeah.
you
But I
know?
mean, but will you compare it to how he played at Oklahoma? Yeah, it was better than what it was
Mhm.
in Oklahoma. And I think because of the expectations were so low for him going to South Carolina, everybody was impressed. And it was like, well, no, he's supposed to be an elite quarterback.
Right,
He was like one of the top recruits. And he was god awful when he started at Oklahoma.
right.
When he started, I was like, "Oh, this
Yeah.
guy's terrible."
Yeah, man. I just thought he played a little better when he was in South Carolina, and that's probably because he had a
Yeah.
good team around him. Overall, he had a good defense around him. But he still wasn't great. He still had
So,
his moments where it's just like,
whoa,
okay.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, I got to stop you, Dale. You
Mhm.
thought the talent at South Carolina was better than the talent at Oklahoma?
Well, the defense, South Carolina had a really good defense. You know what I'm saying? They had a real good defense. So I thought his defensive talent was better than it was at Oklahoma. Not the offense, no. Oklahoma always had way better offense than South Carolina. I mean, it's not even
So,
close.
so what does the defense have to do with his performance as a
Well,
quarterback?
because it helps because it puts less pressure on him to have to score. See, Oklahoma, they didn't really have a great defense, so people was kind of going up and down the field on him. So he had to score. He had to put up these big gaudy numbers just to stay in games. Where I thought South Carolina, he playing in like lower scoring, closer games where he didn't have to score, 35, 40 points to win the
But
game.
my only argument to you is that he didn't put up any gaudy numbers at Oklahoma.
No, he didn't. And
That
that's
was the problem
right.
with the level of offensive talent that he had at Oklahoma,
Right.
and the fact that he had um, Lincoln Riley as his head coach,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I may add, Caleb Williams came in right after. They
Yep.
benched Spencer, brought in Caleb Williams, and everything was back to normal.
Yep.
It was like, okay, something's wrong with you. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, he was shaky when he was there anyway. I mean, he was people
Yeah,
thought of him being shaky anyway. You
yeah.
know.
He was definitely shaky at Oklahoma, and that was enough for me. I had saw enough. And then
Right.
when he went to South Carolina, I was like, oh, okay, well, he's decent. And then he comes to the Saints, and they talking like he's a starting quarterback. So, stop it.
Yeah. I think they were just going on him being like a veteran, being in school so long and all that, but
You think so? I
just
think
let
it's. I
just really
think the
let that
Saints.
season go by.
I think the previous Saints organization liked him. That's all they talked about during training camp.
Yeah,
And
I
I
don't
remember the
understand why.
preseason.
I just don't
Yeah,
understand why they liked him so much because
I don't get it either.
he didn't give you anything in college to be like, yes. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? Uh,
right.
and I'm thinking like maybe they thought he's mature. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either, but there's a lot of love for him. Apparently, Shuck and him are going to be competing for the starting job going into the off season. I mean, going into the season. But the Saints are still looking at veteran quarterbacks to bring in. Of course, there's Aaron Rodgers out there. The guy I would prefer is Teddy Two Gloves. He's back
Mhm.
in the league. I don't know how I feel about the fact that he was out of the league for a year and now they're bringing him back. So I don't know if Teddy Two Gloves would fit. Um, but you got him and you got a bunch of other veteran quarterbacks that Saints are considering bringing in. I don't think it matters. I mean, this is going to be a 2-15 season, straight up. I'm just put it out there. I don't even need to look at the schedule. 2-15. I'm calling it now. And one of those wins probably going to come against the Falcons because it doesn't matter what our records are. We're going to split with the Falcons. We're going to get one against the Falcons. And then we're gonna get lucky against some, bad team that's out there. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a bad team out there, New England or something. I don't know. We're gonna
Mhm.
get lucky. 2 wins, 2-15, and then we draft Arch Manning next season. I'm putting it out there already. I don't need to look at the schedule. I don't need to do no full analysis. That's what it's gonna be. I mean,
Outstanding.
I'm so frustrated with this organization. This was some of the dumbest decisions that the Trey Hendrickson, who is considered one of the best defensive players in the league, who was second for defensive player of the year. He was a Saint, and we had a chance to re-sign him, and they said no after this guy had 13 sacks in a season.
Jeez. 13 sacks is hard to come by. You
Hard
gotta
to come by.
you gotta value 13 sacks.
You gotta value that. And it's like, just pay him the money. What are you talking about? You're looking for somebody opposite of Cam Jordan or somebody to
Yeah,
eventually replace Cam Jordan.
right.
Resign him. What are we doing? Let him go. We had Teddy Two Gloves. Teddy Two Gloves filled in for Breeze, went 5-0. Wasn't good enough. They let him go.
Mm-mm.
Right? You know
Yep.
Breeze is getting ready to retire. Here's your transition. You got Teddy Two Gloves. Love New Orleans. New Orleans loved him. Wasn't good enough. They brought in Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill went 7-2. You know I talk about this all the time. Hell, they won't even let him play quarterback. He can't practice as a quarterback. They refuse to give him a shot. They would rather lose than to win with him. What the hell are we doing, man?
And Taysom Hill's still on the joint, right? He's still on the
He's
roster.
still on the roster.
And he had a big deal last time they signed him, right?
He makes $10 million a year. to protect the punter. His main job is the punt protector,
and play sometime Wildcat.
quarterback. That's what we're doing. When he was the starter, he went 7-2. He threw for 200 yards a game, and he won. But they didn't want to win like that. They don't like that. Would rather lose 6 straight games with Spencer Rattler. That's what you're telling me. Would
Yeah,
rather lose 4 straight games with Trevor Siemian than
right.
to play Taysom Hill or Teddy Bridgewater. It's insane. They're looking for a veteran quarterback when they got a veteran quarterback already on the roster that they're using as a punt protector and a fullback. The stupidest thing I've ever seen. While we're going into the season prepared to be 2-15. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Long as we get Arch Manning, because he's probably going to be the number 1 overall pick next season.
Yeah, Arch is gonna be. I think he's gonna be crazy this year, Texas man.
I think so too.
I think he's gonna go nuts. He's gonna throw like 50 touchdowns.
But the crazy part about it, he might throw 50 touchdowns, and I think he's gonna run for another 10.
Right, right, right. Yeah, he's mobile, very, very
He's
mobile.
very mobile.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he's
Keep
gonna
in
come
mind,
very
his
hot.
father, like Peyton and Eli, were quarterbacks,
Hmm.
but Arch is Cooper Manning's son, and Cooper Manning was a receiver. Yes,
Mm.
Cooper Manning. He's the older Manning brother, so I
Right.
assume he has some speed on him, and he
Oh, he
because he
does.
played receiver,
Yep.
and so that's why Arch Manning is more of an athlete and more of a receiver than
Mm.
Peyton and Eli were.
Right.
So yeah, yeah. So I I I, I get so frustrated with this team, man. Oh, but but
Wow, that would be big though. Him going to New Orleans.
yes, it'll be huge.
That would be
It'll be huge,
giant.
and it'll be even bigger if he's the Saints' first round pick since the uh, uh, 50 years since the last first round pick, which was his grandfather, Archie Manning.
Hmm.
The Saints haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round since Archie Manning in 1971 or 2 or something stupid.
I don't understand that, yo.
That's unbelievable.
That's
Tyler
unbelievable.
Shuck is the highest draft pick that the Saints have made since Archie Manning.
The first time in the first round. Yeah.
Tyler Shuck was taken in the second.
Oh, I thought. Oh, okay. Well, who y'all take first round? Who y'all took? Who's
We
your
took an
first round
offensive
pick?
line. It was an offensive lineman.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dell, we
Mm.
haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round since Archie. And
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck is the highest draft pick we've taken in the draft at quarterback
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
Archie. And he was a second round pick. They don't like taking quarterbacks in the first 2 rounds.
Hey, join the club. That was the same way. Last time
That's
we did
unreal.
one was Troy Aikman. Okay. In the first
Yeah.
round. That's the last. He was number one overall. We had to go,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? We had to win one game to get him. No,
Well,
actually, bad, my bad. Wait a minute. No, 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 no. No, no. We were bad. We were bad. That's not the one game year.
oh, that's right. The one game year was with Troy.
It was with Troy. It was
but
with Troy. You know what I'm saying? So we
but
were bad before that. They had a number one overall.
yeah.
And then
But
we win one game.
but at least y'all
Previous
drafted.
status.
At least y'all even did it in the supplemental draft. Y'all took Steve Walsh in the supplemental draft.
And then took Steve Washington in the supplemental draft. That's one of the bad things that Jimmy could have actually did was going towards Walsh because he really liked Walsh
He really did. He
better than
really
he liked
did.
Troy
But I
Aikman.
think that motivated Troy Aikman.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I
So
think that
too.
motivated him
Yeah.
because he really didn't like Troy Aikman. And I
Nope.
think that made them closer when he brought in Steve Walsh, his guy from Miami.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did you know Steve Walsh played for the Saints?
Oh no. Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Nope.
Y'all traded him to the Saints.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I remember he led us to the playoffs one year.
Wow.
And I thought he threw the ball so softly, man. He had no zip on the ball. It's like this dude has no velocity on the ball. He throws it so softly. It's
Yep.
catchable, but it's so soft.
Right.
But but yeah, man. Saints, man.
Mm.
Tyler Shuck,
Wow.
second round draft pick, ninth pick in the second round, is one of the highest picks we've made for a quarterback in
Mm.
50 years. That's
Wow.
insane. But
Hey, uh, that's gonna be interesting to see because the old Miss offense was like a kind of pseudo pro style offense.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So he did chuck it around a lot, but
Who is this?
he just didn't look all that good.
You talking about Tyler Shuck?
Yeah, sure. He just
Okay.
he just didn't look all that great.
Yeah, he looks like he gets happy feet.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's ups and downs.
he has his ups and downs. He throws some good balls. He throws some bad ones.
Yep.
Um, I don't know. And I didn't see enough of him, but the fact that he's been in college football since 2018. Yeah, I think since 2018. So he's been in the league. He's been in college football for six seasons. He backed up, I believe, Justin Herbert at Oregon. And usually when they've been around, when the player's been around in the league that long, something's wrong.
Hmm. Yeah.
So something's wrong. I think it says a lot. And so I think part of the problem is that the Saints are just like I said, I bring up the Brad Johnson syndrome. Brad
Hmm.
Johnson was drafted because of his size.
Yeah.
He was 6'5".
Yep.
Charlie Ward had to go play basketball because he wasn't 6'5".
Yeah. Well, Charlie Ward also had the issue with they didn't know if he's going to not play basketball. You know,
Well,
because
no, I don't.
according to Charlie Ward, he had offers already on the table, but they said that they wanted him to declare that he was just going to play football, and he wouldn't do it. He said he wouldn't do it. He wasn't going. He wasn't going to just play football. He not going to close the door on basketball.
Well. Why was that a problem for him when it wasn't a problem for Bo Jackson and when it wasn't a problem with um, Deion Sanders?
I don't know. People just wanted him to commit to. I mean, this is according to Charlie Ward. He said
I'm
that
just saying. Yeah, I know it's
they
according to
had to
Charlo.
commit. They wanted him to commit to football and not play basketball, like not
But
play basketball at all. Now,
yeah,
I don't know why that would be a difference as opposed to, you know, the seasons not overlapping as much, maybe.
right.
Because basketball and football overlap a lot, right?
But the thing was, he was a three sport guy. He
Hmm.
played football, basketball, and baseball. He was drafted twice by
Mm.
Major League Baseball.
Oh, right, right, right. Yeah,
Yeah. So he
yeah,
played all three sports.
right.
He could have been better. Like they talk about Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, but Charlie Ward did three sports while
Yeah,
in college
yeah,
and was could have been drafted in all three.
yeah.
So
Well, Bo started out just straight basketball. I mean, I know he played in college football, but as far as NFL, he didn't go straight to the NFL. He went to like the other leagues, right?
no. He
Well,
um
Bo Jackson, I think, played for like some of the other leagues, like the USFL and all that stuff.
no, I don't think he did.
Yeah, I
Uh,
believe like maybe the Jersey Generals or something like that. I think he
you think
played.
so? I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't.
Yeah, I think at some point he played for a team called the New Jersey Generals, uh, with the USFL or some one of them little leagues like that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the NFL. It
What
was
the
something.
NFL? Hmm.
Yeah, because you remember back then those leagues
Yeah,
were
like Herschel Walker played for
exactly,
the
exactly.
New Jersey Generals and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yep, yep.
Uh,
They was trying to compete, so they was giving them money that they really couldn't afford to pay him.
no, no, he only played for the Raiders.
He only played for the
1987
Raiders.
and yep, 1987 and 1990.
Oh, okay. Damn, I thought
Yeah.
because he played for like one of the other teams like that. Maybe not somebody else. But I thought I had memorabilia or something that had his name on it.
I'm
This is a
looking it
long
up.
time ago.
It seems to be somewhat of a gap. Maybe professional sports career. He was drafted by the Kansas City Royals in 1986.
Yeah, I remember when straight to baseball, but at some point he started playing football, but it wasn't NFL though.
Oh no,
Right.
he was drafted by the Tampa Bay Bucks. He refused to play for them after a
Oh,
visit at
right.
the team facility using a private jet caused him to be ineligible to finish out the final college baseball season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I didn't even know he was drafted by them.
Wow. Drafted by the Bucks. how the history could have changed on that.
Yeah. Then he drafted in Major League Baseball by the Kansas City Royals. He signed a 3-year deal with the Royals for $1 million. He spent 53 games with the Memphis Chicks, the AA minor league affiliation. So
Okay.
I guess that explains why he didn't play football.
Okay.
Played for the Orioles. I didn't know he played for the Orioles.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't know he
So
ever played with the Warriors.
yeah,
Wow.
so it looks like he did a lot of that before he went to football.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, Bo never played for anybody else but the Raiders. That's what I thought.
Okay. Okay. For some
Yeah,
reason, I felt like he played for one of them smaller league. I might have been confusing him with somebody else, but I just thought that he played. It was like because I remember it was some players that they thought were going to the NFL, but this league was like snapping them. Like they were kind of grabbing these players that they didn't expect
yeah,
you know, to play for them. They thought they was going to the NFL, but this other league
yeah,
grabbed.
yeah, yeah. And that was the league. Uh, um, USL, UFFFL,
Hmm.
and they were competing directly with the NFL. And I remember Herschel Walker went to the Generals. They've snagged up Steve Young. Steve Young played for one of those teams. Um, there was a quarterback. What's his name? What's his name? Went to the Bills. He eventually went to the Bills.
Quarterback.
Jim Kelly. Yeah, Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly played for one of those teams.
Mm.
They went there out of college.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But I don't think Bo Jackson did that.
Mm.
Yeah, and I don't think he did that.
Yeah.
I think he had an opportunity to play baseball.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway,
Did we get to discuss the Pickens trade last week, or did that happen in between our last podcast and this one?
I don't know. Did we?
I don't remember talking about it last week, but
Huh?
yeah, Dallas. Well, just in case we didn't, Dallas picked up the Pickens.
Oh
Picked up.
yeah, 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 yeah. We did talk about that.
We
We
did
did
talk about
talk.
that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I didn't remember
Uh,
how much we talked about that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, you gotta give us the background of it. You thought it was a new scene for him. Um, so- I don't think you said you liked him being a second receiver to Lambert or something like that.
No, no, no. I said we got two number ones. That's what my take
Oh,
was.
okay,
Like two
okay,
number one receivers. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Now I think that a lot of people think he's gonna be more like a T.O. type of, kind of split the locker room, you
You
know,
think so?
yelling and fussing on the side. I mean, because he's done that with Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh is just a frustrating place for receivers, man. It just
Right,
is. You're not going to go there and put up big numbers. You
right,
just, that's not their style, their brand of football.
right.
So
And they want you to do stuff receivers don't like to do. They want you to
exactly,
block. They want you to do
exactly,
stuff like that. And he wasn't into that stuff.
exactly,
Yeah. Um,
exactly.
yeah, so but one thing I wanted to bring up, right? So, and we talk about this, right? The Cowboys and the Eagles are uh opening the season, right? Playing each other. Um, but is this game in Brazil? I'm thinking about the Eagles, Cowboys, or is that's in the US?
Ooh, that's in the U.S., I believe.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
the NFL is doubling up on their games in Europe and overseas.
yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings have back-to-back international games. One in Ireland, another one in uh, England, in
Mm,
London. So they're
wow.
going to play back-to-back weeks of games, and the NFL's got more games, international games, right?
Yeah, they're beating
Well, you
them
said
up.
that the Commanders will be in
Beating the
Madrid.
Commanders. Yep, they're gonna play
Yeah,
Miami, I think, in Madrid. In
yeah,
Madrid.
Madrid. So yeah, so what do you think the NFL is planning? What do you think they're trying to do here? Are they planning to open up a division
Yeah,
in Europe?
yeah.
I
We
mean,
talked
because
about
it,
this a couple years ago.
yeah,
They're definitely moving towards having some kind of international, regularly, like a team, like an international type team, like maybe have a team over there. You know, uh, the coordination of those games gonna be just stupid. But you definitely see they pushing toward doing that. Like this is a regular thing. It's not going backwards. It's going forward.
Hmm.
So they have more and more games outside of the United States.
Right, right. Well, and I think also part of the thing is okay, right? We've saturated the U.S. market with teams just about everywhere, right?
Hmm.
We got teams on top of teams. You got the Commanders playing in Maryland, and you got the Ravens playing in Maryland. Then right up the street, you got the Eagles, and a little further, you got the Giants and the Jets. So U.S. market is saturated, right? So it doesn't make any sense to add more teams in the U.S.
Right.
Right now, you're gonna go take. You already had a 17 game schedule. You already added a game. You got an 18 game schedule. How can we make more money? We
Yep.
need to formulate
Go
a whole new
abroad.
division. Go
Yeah.
abroad.
Yep. You going abroad. Not only are you getting more people money, you're getting TV money. You're getting
More
abroad
TV.
TV
A
money.
whole new TV market.
Whole new TV market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know there's plenty of money out there because you look at the revenue from soccer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a way of expanding and opening up their pocketbooks for more money. And what I think it will take four teams, a whole new division in Europe. And I
Hmm.
think they're working out a way of how they can make this work. Like maybe one division goes to Europe and play all of their games against the European division,
Hmm. Yep.
like in a whole all their away games all at once. And then
Mm.
the European teams come to the U.S. and they play all their away games in the U.S. So I think they're trying to figure out how to make this happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely see
So,
that. Just like when, NBA start having, teams in Toronto and Canada.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna find logistically a way to make that happen.
yeah. Well, one of the biggest problems with having the teams in Canada versus the U.S. was the currency exchange,
Oh, well, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That was a big problem. But
Yeah.
now looking at right now, with cryptocurrency, it shouldn't be a problem, right? If that can become more mainstream of paying players, maybe that can solve the currency issue that the NBA had,
I
right?
mean, playing players in crypto. I know Tom Brady at some point took some money in crypto.
Yeah, I think what's his name took money in crypto. He got a salary in crypto. He wrote it in, he wanted it in his contract. Odell Beckham.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he requested it. And a lot of people thought he was crazy, and now it's turned out well for him.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud of what the NFL is up to because you're not just out there playing games in Europe. That's horrible for your players. But
Yes.
it's part of their job to build the fan base. The league has to grow. It cannot be stagnant.
Right.
I thought they would look to put more teams in North America, whether it's Canada, because Canada's already got a football league, so you got a base already ready for it. All
Yeah.
right. And then it'd be better to have games in Mexico and Brazil and stuff like that, opposed to going across the water and playing, in a whole different time zone.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, this will be interesting to see how it works out now that there's even more games, international games. There's a game in Brazil. There's going to be a game, I believe, in Mexico City. So, a lot more to come from the NFL as they continue to build their fan base and try to bring in more revenue.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. We will see, and you know what? We will be covering it. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. We will. We gonna be all over it for
oh
sure.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, and yeah. So, man, let's go and wrap this thing up. Thanks for joining us again.
Hey,
We do this thing every week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
holla.